palm branches up high, with fruit hanging all around. You see to the sky, Sukkot is here. We shake the lulav, north, south, east, and to the west. Up and down, 'cause we know beauty is everywhere. Palm branches up high, with fruit hanging all around. You see to the sky, Sukkot is here.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This is Rabbi Barry Silver on behalf of Congregation Va-Dor coming to you for another thrilling episode of our Shabbat celebration, this time mixed in also with the celebration of the joyous holiday of Sukkot. You know, you've probably heard the expression, don't worry, be happy. You might wonder, why could somebody command you or tell you to be happy? How can somebody say to be happy? You can't order someone or command someone to be happy, but actually, this expression, don't worry, be happy, comes from the Torah. The Torah commands us to be happy on Shabbat and to rejoice. Usamachtem basukah. Rejoice in the sukkah. Rejoice in Shabbat. And if you're supposed to be happy on both of those days, well, they both come at once, well, we've got no choice but to be happy. Even during the midst of a pandemic with all the problems around, the sukkah acts like a shelter, sheltering us briefly from all the turmoils and vicissitudes of the outside world in order to rejoice. To help us rejoice, we have Suzanne Burstein leading us in the candle lighting, someone who's done so much for our congregation over the years, and also another person who currently is the leader of our congregation and has been for quite a long time. Sandy Lopater will be leading us in the Kiddush. We thank them, and now let the celebration of Shabbat and Sukkot begin.
Shabbat Shalom! These lights are only flickering flames, yet flames illumine our uncertain steps. Flames purify and renew, soften and refine. They brighten and make warm. Flames remind us of Sabbaths long past and of their beauty that delighted our hearts. May they inspire us to work for the great Sabbath of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'halik ner shel Shabbat v'yom tov. Miss y'all.
The beginning of Shabbat is marked by reciting a benediction sanctifying the day. Kiddush means sanctification. It is the prayer recited over the wine through which Jews proclaim the uniqueness of Shabbat. Sweet wine has long been used to make Shabbat just a little sweeter. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadisho b'ahava uv'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lama'aseh bareshi ki hu yom techila lamikrat hekodesh zecher l'tziyat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kadshecha, v'yahava uv'ratzon, hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha'shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Lech to a place that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lech on your journey I will show you. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lech Lech, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and I shall praise your name. Lech, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat Chaim, Lesimchat Chaim, Lesimchat Chaim.
As I mentioned in the beginning of the service, this is a time to rejoice, to be happy. And the Jewish tradition has an instruction manual for how to achieve such happiness. Have you ever noticed that if you have your favorite food and you eat it every day or every meal for 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 2 months, you don't necessarily consider it your favorite food anymore? If you have something that's really wonderful and you have it every day, day in and day out, over and over, you start to lose an appreciation for it. And that's why in Judaism what we do is we believe that it makes sense to take time out from our pleasures to contemplate them and to rejoice and to think about how wonderful they are. Because if they're there every day, we don't keep track. Think about your health. If you have good health, how often do you rejoice and say, I'm so lucky that I have my health? Because you have it every day. A lot of times you don't bother. If you live in America, a country of freedom that people are risking their lives to get to, and you have it every day, a lot of times you don't think, I'm so lucky to live in America. If you're in a nice marriage or you have wonderful children or you have good friends, so often we take it for granted. These prayers are really an opportunity to say thanks for all the things that we enjoy, especially the intangible things that we don't even pay for. Fresh air, the universe fashioned in such a way that life is allowed to continue, our bodies functioning in miraculous ways. All these prayers are really just a way of saying thank you in order that we can rejoice on Shabbat and on Sukkot.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed.
Baruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Bechokma poteach she'arim, ובתבונה משנה עתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם, ברקיע כרצונו. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Baruch Shem Kevod Malkuto Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Ata Adonai,
Holy One,
Eloheinu Melech Haolam.
your presence fills creation.
You bring us here. Baruch Ata Adonai,
Holy One,
Eloheinu Melech Haolam.
your presence fills creation.
You keep us here. Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sukkot. We're here to welcome and celebrate Sukkot tonight. A poem about Sukkot. Earth and sky, rain and sun, flower and fruit speak to us of God's creative power. Like generations before us, we give thanks for his goodness. Into this sanctuary, we have brought the symbols of Sukkot, the lulav, the palm that resembles the human spine, to remind us that we can stand straight with courage and integrity. The myrtle, whose leaves are shaped like eyes that can behold the grandeur and beauty of the universe. The willow of the brook, whose leaves are shaped like human lips. The etrog, shaped like the human heart. May we remember that love is the doorway through which we pass from selfishness to service, and from loneliness to kinship with all the world.
We all want to live a happy life. It seems so simple, yet for some reason, it's so hard to do. It seems that we're constantly in the pursuit of happiness, but how many are actually catching up to it? And how long do we hold on to it for? Not only that, on the holiday of Sukkot, we're actually commanded to be happy. How could there be a commandment about an emotion? Either I'm feeling happy or not. I can't control it. If I'm feeling frustrated right now, can I just switch on happiness? Will it be real? See, Sukkot teaches us how to live in a state of happiness. Sometimes people think that if only I got this or that, then I'll be happy. If only I made more money, if only my child was like this, if only that happiness is outside of them. But on Sukkot, we leave the comfort of our home and we pretty much move into a hut for an entire week. How could this be the time for happiness? I don't have my couch and my air conditioning. All the comforts of my house are gone. But it's precisely then that we could tap into genuine happiness. On Sukkot, we leave behind all of the extraneous items that are really cluttering up our lives. And we focus on the core essentials, the few things in life that truly make us happy. It's precisely by leaving most of our comforts behind that we remind ourselves that happiness is not outside of us, but right here, inside of us. It doesn't matter how big or small your house is. On Sukkot, we're all the same. We sit in a sukkah with all of the basic needs and thank God for the things that are most valuable to us. The things money can't buy, our family and friends, our values and our tradition. We leave behind the distractions, the clutter, the worry, and sit in the sukkah feeling connected to God. connected to meaning and purpose. It's when we appreciate the really important things in life that we experience real happiness. Chag Sameach.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu, v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon. גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, ועזרת שרה.
In the beginning of the Shabbat celebration, I mentioned that the Torah tells us that we should be happy, but it also gives us an instruction manual for happiness. Many people wonder, how can I ever find happiness in my life? What is the secret to happiness? Jewish people discovered it thousands of years ago. Very simple. He who is happy is one who is content with his lot. In other words, think about all the things you have and all the things you should be grateful for, instead of focusing on what you don't have. If your health isn't so good, concentrate on those parts of your health that is good. If your finances aren't so good, concentrate on those things that you can afford to do. If your relationships seem to be a little weak, concentrate on those aspects and those relationships that are strong, and recognize that each of us has the power to change things so that those relationships can become better. We're still in the aftermath of the high holidays. We still have an opportunity to correct our wrongs. Let us think about it. Let us ponder our good fortune, consider what we have, and also think of ways that we can even increase the happiness that we experience and also the happiness of those around us. And now a few moments of silent meditation.
May the source of strength, oh bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our life a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe berach imotenu, Mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Israel, Israel, ve'oraita charu. Israel, Israel, ve'oraita charu. Torah ora, Torah ora, Hallelujah. Torah ora, Torah ora, Hallelujah. Yisrael, Yisrael, ve'oraita charu. Yisrael, Yisrael, ve'oraita charu.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamavarach. Baruch Adonai hambarach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Our Torah reading this Shabbat is from the very last chapter in the Torah. And we're not going to read the very end because we're saving that for Simchat Torah. En ka'el Yeshurun. There is none like God, Yeshurun. Rochel Shamayim be'ezracha v'geva'ato shechakim. Yes, his arm is outstretched to deliver you. He rules over the heavens and governs the skies. Me'ona Elohai kedem. Olam. Yes, he is in control of the heavens, and his arms hold up as foundations of the earth. Vayigaresh lifanecha oyev, and he drives out your enemies from before you. Vayomer hashmed, and he says, they shall be destroyed. Vayis v'chu Yisrael betach badad, and Israel shall dwell in security and safety alone. En Yaakov, like Jacob. Eretz chagan v'tera esh. It's a land filled with grain and with wine. Afshamav ya'arpu tal. Even the heavens above will drip its dew. Ashrecha Yisrael mikamocha. Happy is Israel. Rejoicing does Israel. Ki michamocha, who is like you? Am nashua b'Adonai, a people delivered by God. Magen ezracha, he is a shield about you with his mighty arm. V'asher chelev gevoatacha v'yachashu oivecha. Yes, he delivers you from the sword, and he makes your enemies cringe. V'ata al b'motima tidruch, and their high altars you shall demolish. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu tuchat emet, v'chai olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. The Torah passage does indicate some rather harsh and violent passages. In modern Judaism, in cosmic Judaism, we no longer ascribe to a hope that an all-powerful being will drive out our enemies and crush them and destroy their high places. Rather, we believe the best way to defeat an enemy is to make them your friend. Go out and seek to convert people of a different political party and a different religion into friends. Don't make them have to believe like you do. But the best way to end enmity between people is not to vanquish them, but to make them our friends. That should be our goal. There was once a man who built a sukkah at his home, but he didn't realize it, but he violated the building code. Code inspector came over and said, "You're in violation, sir," and brought him in front of the judge. When he appeared before the judge, who happened to be Jewish and rather wise, the judge said to him, "The code inspector is correct. You are in violation, and you have 7 days to take down that sukkah." Yes, this is a holiday that lasts 1 week, and all that rejoicing can sometimes make 1 week, but it's worth it because we like to celebrate. To be a Jew is to be jubilant, and so for 1 week we celebrate the harvest. There was once a little boy that my dad used to like to talk about. My dad, Rabbi Sam Silver, who founded Va-Dor, he used to talk about Shmuel Nar. Shmuel Nar always made mistakes. He always got things wrong, but he had a good heart. And he said to the teacher one day at school, "Teacher, the circus is coming, the circus is coming." And the teacher said, "What? I don't know about any circus coming." He said, "Oh yeah, we celebrate every year, Sukkot." He says, "No, Shmuel Nar, that's not the circus. That's Sukkot. It's a Jewish holiday." So he said, "But I thought that Sukkot, you have 3 rings, like in the circus." The teacher said, three rings circus and Sukkot? What are you talking about? So he said, "Well, my rabbi told me that we commemorate wander ring, gather ring, and shelter ring. There's 3 rings. And we have this big tent." The teacher said, "A big tent? What are you talking about, a big tent?" He says, "Well, we go back to Father Abraham, who had a big tent where all were welcome." Yes, my friends, there are certain things in common between Sukkot and the circus. The 3 rings, wandering, gathering, and sheltering. The sukkah was supposed to have protected the Jews as they wandered through the desert. Did this really happen? We think not. No, in cosmic Judaism, we don't take these things literally. For one thing, where would they get all of the wood necessary to construct a shelter for what's estimated to be, according to the biblical records, if you take it literally, 600,000 people? Where would they get all the hammers and nails to construct such a shelter? No. We chalk this up to mythology. Does that mean it's worthless? Absolutely not. The Jews have been wandering for thousands of years. This is not speculation, this is fact. And what does that mean? Well, it means that because we wandered, we picked up different things from many different cultures. We could have just stayed to ourselves, but no, we borrowed and learned from different cultures, and that's why the Jews have contributed so much to the world, because wherever they went, they learned new things. Not only wandering physically, but our minds are always wandering. They're never fixed in a certain place, but they're always free to roam and to wander, and that's why the Jewish people are such wonderful intellectuals. What's the second ring? Gathering. We are gathering in the second harvest. You might say, "Well, I don't live in an agricultural society anymore. What do I care about the harvest?" Well, without the harvest, we'd have nothing to eat. We might not be right in the midst of agriculture in our backyards, but agriculture affects us every day, and we should be grateful for the agriculture and for all the food that we have to eat. Here in Palm Beach County, we do have agricultural lands right next to us, and those big bad developers and their lackeys on the county commission are trying to destroy it. To celebrate Sukkot would mean to protect agricultural land, and if any government officials are not protecting it, tell them to get the heck out and vote for somebody else. Gathering the harvest of hard work in any type, and then reaping the fruits of the harvest. The other ring is sheltering. Now, as I say, we don't take the story literally, so does that mean that we have no reason to consider sheltering at this time? Well, as I've said before, the earth is sheltered by an ozone layer and by an ionosphere. And without those two things, without this cosmic shelter, life could not exist on Earth. We have oxygen, we have ozone, and we have a magnetic field. If you want to see what this atmosphere really has done for Earth, take a look at the moon. If you want to look through a telescope, you'll see it pockmarked with all types of collisions. Imagine if that happened on Earth. Life couldn't have continued. We would be bombarded with things all the time, but we have an atmosphere that allows these chunks of rock to mostly burn up. Yes, there are some collisions. And some people think, well, it would be better if there were no collisions. Actually, some of those collisions are so vital to human life that if they didn't happen, we wouldn't be here. For instance, about 63 million years ago, in the Yucatan Peninsula, there was a big chunk of rock that came and crashed into Earth, a meteorite. And what happened was it set off plumes of smoke, and it caused climate change. That climate change altered the Earth's climate forever. And the dinosaurs, which had been doing well in that climate, couldn't adjust, and they died out. which is what could happen to us if we're not careful with climate change. Because they died out, mammals were allowed to proliferate and to start to take over as the dominant species on Earth. And because of that, human beings came along. If that meteorite hadn't hit Earth, today we'd still probably be dominated by dinosaurs, and human beings never would have evolved. So we have to give thanks to that meteorite. So yes, Earth does protect us, but it also allows certain things through that can be beneficial. Sheltering also reminds us that this atmosphere that we have is fragile. To us it seems, oh wow, look at the skies, they're endless. Actually, if you were to take the atmosphere and compare it to the size of the Earth, it would be the same dimensions as the shellac on a globe. Imagine a globe and the shellac, the paint on the outside. That's how thick our atmosphere is, very thin compared to the Earth. And if we don't protect it, we'll take a shellacking. And that's what's going on right now. We're taking a shellacking with climate change, with the forest fires and the floods. We need to take dramatic action. That's why it was good to see President Biden making this his top priority in his talking to the United Nations. Now in Sukkot we have certain symbols, of course, and rituals. And the ritual doesn't mean anything unless it's converted into the spear ritual. What are the rituals? Well, we have a lulav and an etrog. And the lulav is shaken in the four directions in order to remember that this creative power that we appreciate on this day and that we look to as the source of our being and all being, it goes in all directions. It's all over. It's everywhere in the cosmos. It's universal. And so the shaking of lulav reminds us of that. The etrog, of course, is a product of agriculture, which is a miracle, taking food from the ground and being able to use that to feed our bodies is wonderful. But there's other symbolisms that have been attached to this. The lulav is straight and firm. It looks like a spine, which means that we should have a spine and a backbone. We must stand up strong for our Jewish ideals. The etrog, it's got these little wrinkles in it, and it's about the size of a human brain. It looks like a brain, which means that we should use our mind and our rational thinking in order to advance Jewish ideals and Jewish causes. We need to have a strong backbone, and we also have to use our mind. And there's another aspect of it also, the word lulav. You can't pronounce lulav without love. So you can say there's always love in the lulav and Sukkot. And love is symbolized by the heart. And without the heart, there's no way that you could have Jewish ideals in the world. So what do we need on Sukkot? We need the heart. We need the mind. We need the backbone. And if we put all of these three things together, then we can indeed protect Earth for future generations and try to prevent climate change. We need to use our heart. We need to use our minds to come up with alternative energies. And we need to use our backbone to stand up to spineless leaders who are taking us in the wrong direction. Let us rejoice on this Sukkot and Shabbat that we have these three wonderful qualities and abilities: the spine, the backbone, the mind, and also the heart. Let us give thanks for these wonderful qualities that humans possess, and let us use them to the max in order to make our lives and the lives of those around us a blessing. And let us also use them to protect this precious earth and our precious shelter around the earth, the atmosphere, to protect future generations and other living things. For they too have a right to a clean and healthy and safe earth. Let us use all of our qualities and abilities so that we can truly rejoice in this land. Shabbat Shalom. Happy Sukkot and Chag Sameach.
There's a special season I wait for every year, a time when all our worries just seem to disappear. Take our everyday things
and bring them all outside. Move into the sukkah, that's where we will reside.
Shake a the lulav, everybody come down. Shake a the lulav, joy is all around. I keep finding sukkahs everywhere I go.
Just the schach above me and the ground below.
Just like in the desert,
Mitzrayim far away, sheltered by the one above. That's what we do today.
shake the lulav, everybody come down. Shake the lulav, joy is all around.
Shake the lulav, come and join in the fun. Shake the lulav, there's room for everyone. Welcome to Spiesen and have some company. See all the decorations made by you and me.
My sukkah party's happening,
We'll get the table set. Let's hope for sunny weather,
so we don't get all wet.
shake the lulav, everybody come down. Shake the lulav, joy is all around. Shake the lulav, come and join in the fun. Shake the lulav, there's room for everyone.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כיי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהן, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
The theme of the holidays of Sukkot and Shabbat are joy, you shall rejoice. But now we come to the Kaddish, and most people think, oh no, this is going to ruin our mood, the Kaddish. That's a sad time when we think about people who are no longer with us. But why should that make us sad? When I think of my father who's no longer here physically, I rejoice in the fact that he lived a long and happy life, a productive life, and we shared so much love and joy together. I think of all the tender moments. I'm sure that everybody here who has lost a dear one, who's thinking of them, can think of all the wonderful times that they experienced and the positive influence that lingers on. Our dear ones, our loved ones, would not want us to be sad when we think of them. They would want us to rejoice every time we decide to remember those beautiful times that we spent together and their lasting influence. So let us rejoice with the Kaddish, a prayer that never mentions death, but does talk about the debt of gratitude that we owe for this incredible, wondrous phenomenon that we casually call life. Yiskadav yiskadash shomer haba, v'yalmad yivroach ruseh v'yamnich malchuseh, v'chayachon v'yamechon, u'v'chayeh d'chol beis Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shomer haba mivorach le'olem u'mei u'maya, yisborach v'yistabach v'yispoar v'yischomam v'yisnaseh, v'yisadar v'yisaleh v'yisalal shomer kedusha berechu. Le'elam in kol berchasa v'shirasa, tishbechasa v'nechamasa, dam yachon v'yoma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlam araba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom v'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace bring peace and comfort to all who mourn. And let us say amen.
Shabbat Shalom, Happy Sukkot, Chag Sukkot Sameach. Thank you all for joining us for this celebration of Shabbat and Sukkot. We hope you're enjoying it and all that we have to offer. I'm Sharon Leibovitz. Join us for a rational interpretation of Judaism. Be inspired not only about our Judaism, but also about our planet and how we can all make a difference. We offer a Judaism for all ages, backgrounds, and beliefs based on modern understanding, reason, and science. We honor traditions and celebrate spirituality. Enjoy our engaging and exciting Shabbat celebrations, discussions, and more, and see how Va-Dor could fit into your life. Now is the time to join Va-Dor and help us to share this Judaism of the future and make an impact on our world. We have a very enticing offer for all those new to our congregation. Please contact us to find out more. We welcome all of our newest members and invite you too to become a part of our Va-Dor family. This Sunday, September 26th, we'll celebrate Simchas Torah together in person at the West Boynton Park Oak Pavilion at 5:30 p.m. We've moved it up by 30 minutes so we can come and go in the daylight. We will join together in person for wonderful song and music and celebrate our Torah. Dancing will be optional, but encouraged. Celebrate with Rabbi Barry Silver, Carol Garrett, and Arnie Pickholtz, and all of us, and join together for this wonderful and great celebration. We hope that you too will be there to celebrate with us. Each Tuesday, we enjoy learning more from our Torah with Rabbi Barry and invited clergy on Zoom at 7 p.m. And we invite you to join us for this interesting Torah study and discussion. We welcome all to join us each Friday evening to continue our celebration of Shabbat at our Zoom and Shmooze at 8 p.m., where we hear some great music by our cantorial soloists and join in some wonderful discussion about Shabbat, the rabbi's message, current events, or happenings in the world. Please join us and get a taste of our special Friday evenings, 8 p.m. on Zoom. Learn more about Va-Dor from our website, ladorvador.org, our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, or from within our email newsletters. You can access all of these from our website, ladorvador.org, and obtain the links for all of our program from there as well. Join us tonight at our Zoom and Shmooze at 8 p.m. and hope to see you in person at our Simchat Torah at the West Boynton Park at 5:30 p.m. this Sunday. Hope your Shabbat is spectacular, your week is wonderful, and we hope you enjoy good health, happiness, and much shalom. Shabbat Shalom and Happy Sukkot with love from Va-Dor to you.
And now it's time for our final benediction. Yivorecha Adonai v'yishmorecha. May you be blessed and protected in this current pandemic and come through it safely and securely. Ya'ech Adonai panav elecha v'choneka. May the light of love and of reason shine upon you and from you always. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you be lifted up by the power of the words and the music and the heritage of the Jewish people in order to make this a great week and also a great year as we are in the aftermath of Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, and the high holy days. For me, it's been a great pleasure to celebrate and rejoice on this double celebration, Shabbat and Sukkot. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for joining us on these holidays. Thank you for allowing me the privilege of sharing a few words with you and carrying on a tradition not only of our ancestors, but of my father, who founded congregation Va-Dor, Rabbi Sam Silver. I rejoice in being with you, and I want to assure you that when the pandemic ends, we will soon be in our own building as well. We're doing many of our services outside in the open air, celebrating nature. That's what this holiday is all about, the celebration of nature and the harvest in our natural world. And it's been a pleasure to be with you. Thank you. I hope to see you soon. And Chag Sameach and Shabbat Shalom.
It's a beautiful night. We're looking for something fun to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna build a booth. Is it the stars in the sky, or is it these dancing Jews? Well, who cares, baby? I think we're living in a booth.
Well, in my tabernacle I got everything we need for the show. With my intro. So come on now. Cares if it rains, got a whole lot of chains, don't you know? This clock doesn't go. It stays on, yo. Don't say no. Say love, and we'll go. If you're shaking like I'm shaking.
It's a beautiful night. We're looking for something fun to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna build a booth. Is it the stars in the sky, or is it these dancing Jews? Who cares, baby? I think we're living in a booth.
Living out here, there's nothing to fear, we'll go far under the stars. It's alright, girl. If we wake up and the sukkah breaks up, that's cool. No, I won't blame you. But just run, yeah. No. Say love, and we'll go. If you're shaking like I'm shaking, shake my besason, mi meine Yeshua. Waters overflow from the fountains of salvation. Just let it
Say it right now, baby.
say right now.
Say it right now, baby.
Just let it
Say it right now, baby.
say right now.
Say it right now. Or is it these dancing Jews? Who cares, baby? I think we're living in a booth.
Living out here, there's nothing to fear, we'll go far under the stars. It's alright, girl. If we wake up and the sukkah breaks up, that's cool. No, I won't blame you. But just run, yeah. No. Say love, and we'll go. If you're shaking like I'm shaking.